Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we are going to say hello to a few friends here as we get started. I got to clean my glasses. Okay, as you get your notifications, Mike from Norland, how are you? And Brahim, 1 and 2. Brahim, we were worried about you. You weren't in the top 10 anymore. Andrea, Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Good morning to you. Okay, Janice. And Lynn, how are you, Lynn, from Aurora? Nick from our staff, good morning. Carol from West Virginia, good morning to you. And Brahim is telling everyone that he loves them. Rebecca Calendar, Jeanette from our staff. Fran from Orangeville. Nellie, good morning. And Carol, Wasaga Beach. And Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Donna, Belle, Uber. Judy, Port Perry. Nativity, good morning. Georgie from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Wendy from Markham. Donna from Park Hill, good morning. Rosa, Montreal, bonjour. Marianne, London. Colleen, Snowy, Saskatchewan. Yvonne, Petawawa. Claudette, how are you, from Hamner? Verna from Utah, how are you? Lori from Niagara Falls. Jean from Peterborough. And Milika from Stouffville. Karen, good morning to you. And Kate Tarana. Faye, how are you? Thanks for coming on, guys. Sherry, Mississauga. Francis from Vaughan. Caroline, how are you? Kathy, I pulled you down from the clouds. Joanne, Stewart, how are you? Lisa Marie. Dave, Cardiff. Patricia. And Helga, good morning to you. Faye says she's in the clouds. Maureen, Penticton, British Columbia. Darlene from South Carolina. Lorraine, how are you, from British Columbia? Guys, coast to coast. And Lorraine, how are you? Kevin, Veronica. And a couple of more guys. Donna from, did I already say hello to you, from Bell Valley? Sandy. And Rita. Rita says she's floating. Sue's saying hello to all the peeps. Mary, New Brunswick. Rose, good morning. And Lucy, how are you? Deb from Timmins. And Peggy, good morning to you. Margaret from Lakeland. And Diane from Thunder Bay. Natalia. And Darlene, good morning. Snowy Saskatchewan. Sue, what happens in Saskatchewan? Hi, Pam from Cochrane. Rachel, doesn't stay in Saskatchewan. Usually it comes east. And we're going to get it. Brenda, Wanda, Linda, New Brunswick. Okay, guys, let's get going. Rose, one more. Peggy from Niagara Falls. How are you? Okay, so a new study out. I got to talk to you about it. And it's on high fructose corn syrup. Okay? Now, yesterday I had a chance to talk to Dr. McEwen's class in West Tennessee. And I was telling them about the dangers of high fructose corn syrup. A new sugar made by man, originated in a lab, and the problem is it was very, very sweet, very inexpensive, very addictive. Remember, guys, remember this. This is really important, okay? And the food industry needs a correction, big time. because they got away with murder. They got away with murder. And you know, when you look at it, and I'm a big historian when it comes to nutrition, I really like to go back. And guys, I was around when they brought out high fructose corn syrup. I actually got quoted in an article in the 1980s that someone was pushing back, and then they quoted me pushing back on high fructose corn syrup in the 80s. And what I was saying even back then, that this was a dangerous sugar. And because what they were touting at the time, and remember, the food industry was taken over by the tobacco industry. Like, these guys were liars, pants on fire. Okay, like, it just, like, these people, they lied through their teeth. And they didn't do any research on high fructose corn syrup. They did no safety studies on high fructose corn syrup, no long-term studies. All they knew was it was very sweet, and it was, you know, fructose. So to them, and the world went for it because they mistake fructose for being, you know, you eat an orange and you're getting fructose. Okay, I'm okay with that. You eat a fruit and you get fructose, but don't drink it. You see, the problem with high fructose corn syrup, it's a liquid. And that's a completely different puppy altogether, okay? So even then, I was screaming about it, telling people to avoid it like the plague. The problem is, again, in North America, the label rules allowed you to couch this sugar. At first, they were very proud of it, and then when they got called out a little bit on the dangers of high fructose corn syrup, you know what they did? They started calling it other names. I wrote in my book, I think probably in Metabolic Syndrome and 2 Hormones That Want You Dead, 100 different names for high fructose corn syrup. But it's the one they use. Pepsi went to it. Coca-Cola went to it. And of course, they own several food companies, both of them. And PepsiCo and Coca-Cola, they switched their sugars to high fructose corn syrup right in the sodas, and then everything else that they owned in the food industry. Okay? Now, why is that bad? Why is that bad? Well, we only have to look at, since the invention of that sugar, what's happened to the world. We got a lot bigger. We got a lot bigger. And because fructose, okay, let me give you how that happens. When you consume high fructose corn syrup, and guys, listen to me. You got to get this right too. If you eat an orange or eat an apple, okay? By the way, an apple a day does not keep the doctor away. A steak a day will keep the doctor away. Okay? I changed that. Okay? Because you guys learned that, and I learned that as a kid. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Are apples good for you? Yeah. They're not bad for you if you eat them and don't drink it. Okay? Now, back to high fructose corn syrup. Why is it so bad? Why is it so bad? Well, let's talk, number one, obesity. Okay? Obesity. Now, there's a couple of factors involved in obesity, why we're so obese today compared to the, previous generations. Like I was saying to you yesterday, and I said even to Dr. McEwen's class, look around, use your eyeballs, and pretend you were brought back into the 1960s and 70s. You know, most people were thin. Today we live in a world that, what is it? 50% of children, just about, are obese. Okay? And here's why. Here's what happens. Here's the physiology of it. When you consume high fructose corn syrup, it makes a beeline for your liver. There's a little detour in there that I brought to you in the past. It disrupts your microbiome. Well, you must, by disrupting the microbiome, it's like antibiotics in a way, because antibiotics disrupt the microbiome. And that has a huge link to obesity later in life. Did you know that? Yeah, the gut. Okay, so that's one thing. We didn't even know that about high fructose corn syrup, that on its way to the liver, because remember, fructose gets broken down different than glucose. Fructose in nanoseconds heads to the liver. Okay? It heads to the liver. And what does it do to the liver? Well, it packs it. Okay? Fructose packs it with fat. Now, your liver only has so much storage space in it. It doesn't have a lot. It only has some. So when it gets packed up with fat, okay, what does it do? One way of escape for the fat is to go into the bloodstream in the form of triglycerides. Okay? Triglyceride. Now, you and I have talked about that a lot because triglycerides are dangerous puppies. When they're elevated, in the absence of HDL cholesterol, if your triglycerides are higher than your HDL cholesterol, you're in deep doo-doo. You're in trouble for your heart and your brain, stroke. Okay? So that's one thing. It packs it up with fat. One way the body tries to neutralize that to some extent is by elevating triglycerides. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing that it does, when it packs it up with fat, once the liver is packed up with fat, most people have a tremendous and unlimited ability to make fat cells. Okay? Unlimited. And one little thing. If you're skinny, that don't make you healthy. Okay? That don't make you healthy. Because you might have fatty liver and you're still skinny. You don't have the ability to make fat cells like most people. But most people, they have an unlimited ability to make fat cells. Why do children get fat? Okay? It's not calories. Guys, it's not. It's not calories. It's fructose. It's fructose. High fructose corn syrup, that's sugar that the world uses, that the world invented. Man invented it. It goes to the liver, It disrupts the microbiome on the way there. It goes to the liver and starts packing fat. And then when the liver is full, it packs and packs and packs fat cells. And we see the result of that today. We look around. Now I would bring to you the bad oils. Bad oils and bad sugars are a terrible combination. So you know me about talking about high omega-6. But for the sake of, like the oils that belong in your car that don't belong in your body, okay? Man does great things. Really, man, we do great things. But boy, we do some bad things. We do some bad things. The food industry is the best example of the bad things that the world does. Those middle aisles of your grocery store filled with all those bad oils and bad sugar, high fructose corn syrup, it's a tragedy what man does to itself. All in the name of profit. Profit. Remember my overarching principles. And guys, I do a lot of repetition here. I have to, because that's me. I'm a rinse and repeat type of person. But remember, on this program, we got a lot of new people coming in every day. Okay? So you rinse and repeat. Okay? That's really important. My overarching principles when it comes to health in a way, okay, is there are two things I talk about a lot. The food industry doesn't care about your health. It doesn't. And I'm sort of cautiously optimistic, that we're going to get in there and have a look at it. We're going to look under the hood of the food industry. At least that's what was promised in the American election. We're going to look at food. Because really, what's happened, nobody's looked at it. Nobody's looked under the hood to see, okay, why are we so stinking sick? Why are we so stinking fat? Why do we have so many chronic diseases? Why don't we look under the hood and see what's happening? And I can tell you one thing, as we open up the hood of the food industry, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. And then, really important point, doctors, okay, and this happened in my lifetime, guys, okay? Doctors, God bless them, okay? You got a good doctor, God bless them, and I mean it. Know nothing about nutrition. Can you imagine being in a medical field and knowing nothing about food? Imagine going to medical school and you know nothing about food. And what you learn is not even right. Oh, don't eat eggs, meat, and cheese. Why? Because there's cholesterol in there. And the cholesterol gonna kill you. It's gonna give you a heart attack. It's gonna give you a stroke. True or false? Yeah, that's what they learn. They don't learn much. And they got influenced by Dr. Kellogg's, a real doctor, who was a nutcase. I hate to tell you. You read about it like he was a nutcase who invented cereal and convinced the whole world that cereal was better than bacon and eggs in the morning. True or false? That's a true statement. The world went for it. Why? Because medical doctors who should have pushed back didn't know anything about food. Nothing. Nothing. They take, you're lucky in how many years of medical school that they take even a half an hour of nutrition. And half of it is on, ooh, what should I do? You might have too much vitamin D. Ah. Scared skinny of cholesterol. Scared skinny of vitamin D. That's their training. Imagine that. But guys, so when you have a food industry that don't care about you, they really don't. I'm not saying there's no good people in there. Okay? I'm sure there's some very sincere people. But they're sincerely wrong. Because they pump out, amongst other poisons, high fructose corn syrup. And you know what? It don't kill you right on the spot, but it will kill you. It will kill you. And when I speak against that, boy, do I get a lot of blowback. Not so much on this program, but when I've done stuff in a more public forum. But those are the overarching principles. And the third thing, I might as well say it too, is that the pharmaceutical industry, okay, the pharmaceutical industry has hijacked medicine. It's hijacked the medical schools. They do all the financing. Try and get a study done that isn't sponsored by the pharmaceutical industry. Look, I'm not saying there's not good people in there either. And there are some drugs that have been a blessing to mankind. Okay? I mean it. But they've hijacked medical training. So doctors are coming out and, and to some extent, they're glorified pharmacists. To some extent. Okay? Do you need doctors? You bet your boots you need doctors. But just understand what's going on behind the scenes. We look under the hood of the food industry and we see they don't care. They don't care about you. And that's why they don't, I don't even know if they mean to lie to you, but they don't care about you. Because if they did, they would have banned high fructose corn syrup a long time ago. They would have repented in sackcloth and ashes and stopped this antichrist of sugars. Okay? Now that was just the introduction to high fructose corn syrup. That was just the intro. Okay? Because I didn't tell you about a new study that has come out on high fructose corn syrup and what it does to your vitamin D. Now, I've seen this before, but a new study showing that when you are a consumer of high fructose corn syrup, it lowers your vitamin D. Why? Because it lowers, what it does is it increases, okay, when you consume high fructose corn syrup, okay, look at anything with added sugar to it. It adds sugar to it. Soda, especially when you drink it. Like it's unbelievable. When you drink sugary drinks, they're the worst. Okay? And what that does is it breaks, it elevates a production of an enzyme that breaks down the absorption of vitamin D in the body. Increase high fructose corn syrup, decrease in vitamin D. Now, guys, on this program, I'll do it 10,000 times more, Lord willing. I will talk to you almost daily on the benefits of vitamin D. Okay? On the benefits of vitamin D. I didn't write sun, steak, and steel for nothing. I have been talking about the benefits of the sun for 50 years. When people were saying, get out of the sun. When people were saying that the sun causes cancer, melanoma, just the opposite. Just the opposite. I was right. It was just the opposite. When you don't get enough sun, you get the worst cancer, melanoma. Plus a lot of other cancers. Vitamin D, I said this in the 70s. When they were talking about vitamin C. Not coffee. They were talking about ascorbic acid. And Linus Pauling said, oh, the greatest vitamin in the world. And I said, Linus, you're only missing by one letter in the alphabet. It ain't vitamin C, it's vitamin D. When do you feel better? When the sun is out. When do you get the flu? Can I say that anymore? Nobody talks about the flu anymore. When do you get the flu? When there's no more sun. In the winter time. The best thing you can do to protect yourself from cancer is vitamin D. So when you consume high fructose corn syrup, guess what? Your vitamin D goes down. And I was saying to Dr. McEwen's class yesterday that I add, okay, exclusive to the Martin Clinic, in metabolic syndrome, I add vitamin D as a biomarker. If you have low levels of vitamin D, it's part of metabolic syndrome. It's part of that 93% of the population. It's at least that have low levels of vitamin D. Big factor. Big factor in your immune system. Big factor in your metabolic health, folks. So high fructose corn syrup. Obesity. How? We showed you. 2, high fructose corn syrup lowers your levels of vitamin D. Boy, that just gives your immune system a kick in the pants. No, the opposite. Doesn't get it going, it lowers it. Lowers your immune system. Vitamin D does everything. It's anti-inflammatory. It's antiviral, it's antifungal, it's good for your brain, it's good for your heart, it's good for everything. It's good for your eyeballs, it's good for production of melatonin. It goes on and on and on and on, vitamin D. High fructose corn syrup lowers your level of vitamin D. Imagine, you can't even absorb vitamin D properly from the sun if you're feasting on high fructose corn syrup. Imagine. Where have you heard that before? You haven't. I'm telling you. Okay. Wonder if this is a 2-part session. I wanted to talk to you about, maybe we'll make this 2. Just because there's so much on high fructose corn syrup. its negative effects on the body. Okay. I'm breathing. You guys are great. Okay. So what's Friday? I got to talk about it because I want you to send your questions in. Send your questions to info@martinclinic.com. Send us an email. Okay? Send us an email, please. Because if you ask your questions on the screen here, and I really, I don't mind you asking questions, even on the screen, but a lot of times nobody sees it. I can't see it when it's scrolling by when I'm talking. I can't read it. Well, maybe a little bit, okay? Sherry's saying, thanks, Dr. Martin. Well, I've just read that. But if you ask me a question, I gotta focus in on what I'm talking about here. Okay. You guys are great. We appreciate you. info@martinclinic.com. Love you guys so dearly. You have no idea. Okay. Thanks for this audience. The best, the smartest, and you pump my tires every day. You guys do it. Talk to you soon.